4490.
AL certain number 21014.
Would you call a plumber for a root canal? The same goes for selling your timberland or farm. Choose someone who understands your property and can help you on the front end so you can capitalize on the back end. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. As a guide, I have put many hunters in position to take a shot. It's time for you to take your shot. Let's talk about putting you in position to sell your property. Call me at 256-609-0512. Remember, Bo knows land.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Scott Tyson here with your 97.7 ESPN The Zone Sports Minute. Monday Night Football. The Los Angeles Chargers would force 5 turnovers from Philadelphia quarterback Jalen Hurts, the most of his career, as the Chargers claim the 22-19 overtime win. College football news, the 2025 Heisman Trophy finalists were announced. Notre Dame running back Jeremiah Love, quarterbacks Fernando Mendoza of Indiana, Vandy's Diego Pavia, and Julian Sayin of Ohio State. The winner will be announced Saturday night. South Carolina head coach Shane Beamer has hired TCU's Kendall Briles as his next offensive coordinator. Briles replaces the fired Mike Shula. Make sure and join the 97.7 ESPN Zone family Tuesday, December 16th for our listener appreciation party at Field Day. Just bring a new toy for Toys for Tots. That's your admission. Doors open at 5 p.m. Download the 97.7 ESPN Zone app today.
The crimson and white jerseys.
Front court to the rack and the plunge.
The sound of a buzzer beater.
Got it to go as the buzzer sounds.
The Roll Tide chant from the crowd. It can only be Alabama basketball. Join the Alabama Crimson Tide right here on your home for Alabama basketball.
Listen to Alabama basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Joe Hunk. John Abraham. 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Hello and welcome in to a Tuesday edition of the Blitz here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, ESPN Winchester, and WZZN TV. I am John Abraham, and he is Joe Hunk, and we are here to bring you guys 2 hours straight of sports talk, goofs, gaffs, and so much more, presented by the wonderful people over at Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. And if you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com to fill out your free quote today. And remember that Fleming has got you covered. Oh, that's not their saying. They show up.
Yes,
they show up.
Yes, the wrong thing.
Similar to what you should be doing on December 16th to Field Day, as we're going to have our listener Christmas party presented by Talent Heating and Air to benefit Toys for Tots, the Marine Foundation. And, of course, you guys are going to want to show up because if you bring an unwrapped toy, you drop that bad boy off into the little buckets that we're going to have. You guys are going to be able to get in on the taco bar, on the mini putt, on the festivities that are going to be going down on December 16th at 5 o'clock. Of course, Tom Abraham's show is going to be live there, as well as The Drive. And if you guys have been out to any of the Christmas parties we had in the past, it's always a blast. It is always such a fun time. So we'd love to see you guys over there. But Joe, you know, all of these Christmas festivities that are going around, everybody's in a jolly spirit. Everybody's having a wonderful time. But there's just one problem, Joe. I think we upset Notre Dame. I think we all upset Notre Dame, and I think the ACC is getting the brunt of it right now. I think we really pissed them off. And right now, Notre Dame AD says ACC did permanent damage.
Hold on.
What?
Why do you jump the gun on everything I have planned?
I had this planned already to start out. I would love to hear the comments from him verbatim, but permanent damage to the relationship with the push for Miami over the Irish. Joe, one of them is a part of the ACC.
Tremendous respect for Miami. Great team, great school. But we were mystified by the actions of the conference to attack, their biggest really business partner in football and a member of their conference in 24 of our other sports. I wouldn't be honest with you if I didn't say that they have certainly done permanent damage to the relationship between the conference and Notre Dame.
So that was the actual comments that were made on the Dan Patrick's show by Pete Bevacqua.
Yeah,
and
right.
It is, and though he said a lot of things, actually, there was a ton of information that he gave during it, because he also did talk about, and before that, he talked about being singled out by the ACC.
We didn't appreciate the fact that we were singled out repeatedly and compared to Miami. Not by Miami. Miami has every right to do that. But it raised a lot of eyebrows here that the conference was taking shots at us. And, that's just not something we chose to do. We wouldn't choose to do that in the future.
So that was what it was that the ACC took shots at Notre Dame.
Which you could see where they're coming from. Of course, a lot of the comparison was between Notre Dame and Miami. And for the ACC, they want to get their teams in. Guys, if you didn't know this, Notre Dame is not a part of the ACC in football. In basketball and volleyball, it might be, the case. But in football, they are an independent team who's able to just say, no, I'm not going to go to a bowl and not get fined whatsoever by their conference, because they are independent. And for Miami to be pushed by ACC is just a conference pushing their team. And that's where all of this backlash came from, with Notre Dame being so upset. Oh, no, they're going with Miami instead of us. That's where all of this is coming from. And I think that we're really in the time of college football where we actually can see the emotions and the feelings from teams, because they're getting left out from the conference that they're not even in.
Well, they are in, just not in one sport. And in fact, the ACC commissioner actually responded to the interview that was done on Dan Patrick. He says the University of Notre Dame is an incredibly valued member of the ACC, and there is tremendous respect and appreciation for the entire institution. Then this is where he drops the elbow. With that being said, when it comes to football, we have responsibility to support and advocate for all 17 of our football playing member institutions. And I stand behind our conference's efforts to do just that leading up to the College Football Playoff Committee selections on Sunday.
Boom. It's as simple as that. Any other business would tell you that, we're going to work closely with the businesses that are working closely with us. Obviously, you'll have some other teams, businesses working kind of occasionally with you during certain events. But whenever it comes down to which one you're going to fight for, you're going to fight for the loyal competitor. And of course, that in this case is Miami. And of course, they made a valid statement. And even me, Joe, I looked at this. We had a great conversation with Stephen Wagner from On3 in Miami. Whenever he was pleading his case, I was thinking to myself, this is quite interesting. It's a Miami team that did, in fact, beat Notre Dame, but Notre Dame's losses look way better than the losses that Miami took late in the season. So if I was on the committee, maybe I would be giving Notre Dame the edge. But at the end of the day, the ACC pushes the ACC. And this is the case. And now we have Notre Dame, I don't want to say making a fool of themselves, but showing their ass just a little bit more.
Well, they're complaining. And again, they have the ability to do this where nobody else does, because they're the only ones that are not in bed with ESPN. Yeah. And that's the reality of this. They are the Elon Musk of college football. They literally can do whatever they want and be able to say exactly what they want, because they're the only ones that somebody's like, oh, well, if you're not going to do this, then we just won't put you on our channel. okay, that's fantastic. We have a deal with NBC that's going to get us on, regular television every single Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just add that and just make it where the deal now says that all of our road games also get to be on NBC.
Yeah.
Like let's just do that. If you guys want to not put us on your television, then all right, we'll do this. So they don't have a reason to not be able to stand up to the juggernaut and the Mickey Mouse. Like they can do that.
I want to know though, if the ACC tries to, bite back, could they just say, okay, then we won't schedule your team, and that might force them to have to go to a lesser conference to possibly
all it would do is just force them to go to the conference they should have been in from the very beginning, and that's the Big Ten.
Yeah.
I mean, they should have been there all along. I mean, majority of their rivals are all in the Big Ten, especially now that USC is in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
It makes the most sense. So if the ACC wants to have a meeting and say that, okay, our deal with Notre Dame is no longer beneficial to us, then so be it. The problem is the deal with Notre Dame is actually definitely beneficial to the ACC.
It is. There's not many conferences better or worse.
Because the ACC the Notre Dame is a brand, just like Alabama and Texas and those universities are all brands that are one in which can actually elevate. No, not evolve. Elevate.
There you go.
Yeah, elevate your program and elevate the conference.
Yeah.
So the ACC doesn't want to get rid of Notre Dame because they're already borderline irrelevant as it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I feel like this would be the time to make a stand against Notre Dame and kind of force their hand to push them into a conference. And I know it's going to be so tough because it's one team that has so many benefits to being independent, but at the same time, in the way that college football is going, they're going to need to join a conference. I mean, that's just how it is. Because
no, they don't.
And I know where you're going to go with
next
this.
Year, it doesn't matter.
Because next year there is this thing that is, what is it, an MOU or something like that?
It is a deal that is a part of the brand new college football playoff. If they choose to go to 16 teams, that whenever Notre Dame is a top 12 team in college football, they are automatically in.
Yeah, and it's already going to work for the 12-team playoff. If they're in the top 12, then they're going to be in. If they're in the top 13 in a 16-team or a 14-team scenario, they're going to make it in. So I get it. I get that college football is shifting, but then I saw this whole thing with the MOU. It's a memorandum. I'm going to let you say it, Joe. Do you have it in front of you?
No, I do not have it in front of me.
Memorandum of Understanding. That's what it is called. Memorandum. I'm not a.
I just want you to keep going. Yeah.
No, I'm done with that. But yeah, I saw this and I was just like, what the heck is this? Where did this little loophole come from? It's ridiculous. But again,
well, it is what has happened because the brand that is Notre Dame, it's called Memorandum, and the brand that is Notre Dame is so huge that they have gotten it where, because they have went about this their own way, gotten their own television deals, they have their own marketing, they're not a part of any conference, they can schedule whoever they want to, that they now can do pretty much as they please, unless the college football playoff committee or the NCAA as a whole, the ADs get together and say, okay, that is no longer sustainable.
Yeah.
Then Notre Dame can do it. Look, Notre Dame as a brand is one of the, if not the biggest brands in all of the country, not just in Indiana, because you can even go to Chicago and there are Notre Dame stores, not Big Ten stores, Notre Dame stores that are around the city of Chicago. And when you have that connection to that market, you are going to continue to grow that brand.
No doubt. And I feel like if college football wants to try and usurp Notre Dame's brand, what needs to happen is if the ACC and Notre Dame have a falling out and Notre Dame tries to jump ship to a Big Ten, if I were the Big Ten, I'd say, you'd have to join us. And I understand it's a lot of money that they'd be missing out on, but in the long run, I feel like it would slowly but surely get college football back to where it needs to be. Because next year, Notre Dame's schedule and their MOU that they've got going on is extremely favorable.
Memorandum.
I'm just going to say MOU.
Okay.
Just the MOU. Just understand me. They got Wisconsin. That's going to be at Lambeau Field. Green Bay. They're going to have Rice, Michigan State, Purdue, North Carolina, SMU, Syracuse, Navy. And then the first tough game of the season might be Miami Stanford, Boston College, and then USC, who is hit or miss but should be decent next year. So if all things fall into place, they'll have 2 ranked opponents on that schedule. And as you can see, they're going to be touching every single type of conference except for the SEC.
I'm curious as to why we're getting called stooges in the chat.
Probably because we have a lot of Notre Dame fans in the area.
Well, this one's actually coming from somebody that's called Freeman's Jawline. So I would actually
that's probably why.
Yeah. And so and part of this is talking about the fact that we were talking about Notre Dame. I'm not actually bashing Notre Dame because I think that a lot of the things that the athletic director said on Dan Patrick is very honest and very truthful. And part of it, one of the things that I actually loved about that he said is basically called out how pointless the ranking shows are.
Assembled as a team on Sunday, and rankings hadn't told us for the previous weeks, we're in, take care of business. And hey, you know what, Notre Dame, you're 11, and now you're going to get squeezed out because of the conference tie-ins, and Miami beat you. And hey, I get it. But these ranking shows, as I said yesterday, like, what's the point? Why kind of send these signals and get the hopes up of these teams, these coaches, these kids on the team that believe they're doing everything necessary? And then, like I said, it just felt in that room a collective sense of a rug being taken out from under us without any explanation that I've heard that has me feeling better about it.
And I think that a lot of this comes back to people wanting to complain about how Notre Dame thinks that they're better than everybody else and how they're saying that they should be in over this team or this team and this team. And that the fact that the athletic director is now going on, a national show like Dan Patrick and complaining. And he says the same thing that I think a lot of us are feeling.
What we're so confused by and frustrated with is the process. Every step along the way since the first CFP rankings came out, we were led to believe we were in as long as we took care of business. And we certainly took care of business with this 10-game winning streak.
And basically the argument that he's making is that, for the period of time that the CFP playoffs were coming in and they were saying that their rankings would have put them in. And then so they are under the assumption, well, heck, they've already said that we are one of these ranked teams and that we are at a spot that we're going to be in. Then, we're not even playing this week, so we should be good. And then the rankings come out on Sunday. The show happens on Sunday, and they're not a part of the bracket. And they're going, well, how do we get fired on our day off? Like, how does that happen? Like, that was just, one of those things that is a part that they're asking the questions. I think that it's a smart question because it does go back to the whole process of the way that everything goes about it when selecting it, and how I agree with him that it's all a ruse for the entire period of time to generate ratings. And then the very moment that we get to the Sunday ratings, you do it on a Sunday, an hour before kickoff of the NFL, because that's when the most amount of people are going to be watching ESPN because of Monday Countdown. Like this is for your benefit to bring in your ratings. It's not about the sport.
And I don't have a problem, with Notre Dame complaining about that fact, but to have it carry on, to jump out of a bowl game, I think a lot of people can say that is a little bit Notre Dame of them to do.
I don't even have a problem with them opting out of the bowl game.
I have a problem with the way the committee did go about it, because they did pull the rug out from under Notre Dame. But whenever they put these two teams together, they made a decision and it happened. Look forward to next year, because Notre Dame, you're almost locked in for next season. All right. And of course, we're going to get some hecklers throughout today's show, because we're also on WZZN TV on YouTube, on Facebook, and on X, where we've got quite a few people tuning in to this edition of the show, not just on the radio, but in the video side of things. And we also have your phone calls as well. 256-576-97.7. We have a wide open first hour of the show. We have 2 winners in the wacky underdog picks. I honestly have no idea what we're going to do this week for it, unless you want to hop in on the NFL side of things. But we will update those rankings as well as getting into your conversation as well. And then in the second hour, we're going to be talking to Dawson Easterlow from ESPN Southeast Louisiana.
Oh, sweet.
Because we're going to be talking some Tulane, some LSU, and all of that good stuff that's going down on the Bayou. So it's all coming up here on this grand old Tuesday edition of the Blitz here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, ESPN Winchester, and WZZN TV.
Phone lines are open now. 256-576-4977. This is The Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your customers deserve the best, and so do you. You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loader from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. And with our Workhorse Special promotion, that new 255 CTL is just $73,655. But it's only good through December 31st. Prices increase in January, so lock in your savings now and take advantage of year-end tax benefits to maximize your investment. Don't wait. The best time to buy that new Cat 255 is today. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement, it's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
Mark and Henry McDaniel, attorneys at law, are proud alumni of Madison Academy, and Madison Academy is proud of them. They have served our community through their practice, through volunteerism and service on national, state, and local boards. They explain the complexity of critical court rulings on local media. Their successful practice has been built on integrity. Both are veterans of MA Athletics and proud sponsors of Mustang football. McDaniel and McDaniel, attorneys at law. No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up. At Stella at 5 Points, living isn't just about having an apartment, it's about living artfully. Imagine waking up with the upscale feel of Atlanta or Nashville right here in the heart of Huntsville. Modern, stylish apartments, open layouts, stainless steel appliances, and resort-inspired amenities. Nestled in vibrant 5 Points, you'll enjoy walkability, parks, dining, and quick access to downtown without the chaos. Stella at 5 Points. Live artfully. Live Stella.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen. A chilly and quiet night ahead of us across the Tennessee Valley for this Tuesday night. Low temperatures fall into the upper 30s. Heading into Wednesday, high temperatures warm into the mid and upper 50s for the afternoon. Expect to see partly sunny sky. We could also see wind gusts as high as 25 miles per hour.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. The Blitz with Joe Hunk and John Abraham. Weekday morning starting at 9 a.m. on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
We on fire. Step up in the party. Step up in the party high. We on fire.
Hello, welcome back into The Blitz. Wanted to throw out a quick, I'm sorry, Joe, for usurping your segment, I guess, to start out the show.
It was the whole show.
The whole show, I just usurped it?
Yeah, you literally just landmined the whole thing.
I just talked on the biggest stories around all of college football right now.
You landmined the whole thing. I mean, I basically now just can just close my whole game plan.
I can go and get you like a Red Bull
I took my meds this morning.
Nice.
I'm good.
Solid stuff.
I've taken my meds, so I am all set and good to go.
All right. Well, with Christmas coming up, of course, you guys are going to want to get some presents for the kids, maybe some presents for your loved ones, and of course, stocking stuffers are a big deal. So head on over to 977ESPN.com and get your family or friends some stocking stuffers in the form of Big Zone deals. Carrabba's, Corlejos, Full Moon, all the places you yearn for are over on Big Zone deals, and you can get those for half off. So make sure you take advantage of them before they're all gone, because it'll happen very quick. Joe, how old are you, may I ask?
41.
41, okay.
Yeah, turned 41 in August.
All right. You ever think about going back and playing some ball, maybe playing some baseball, going back and getting like an extra year at UAH?
Actually, I mean, I'm eligible. No, I would absolutely do that if there was a legitimate way. But my biggest issue is it's always been my arm. Now, if I was just going to DH, that'd be a different thing.
Yeah.
But as far as my arm is concerned, this would not be something that I could do, say, this spring. It would be something that I would have to do like next spring, because I would most likely need surgery on my elbow.
Okay.
So that's the biggest thing. And what also sucks about this, and I hate the fact that John brought this up, because yesterday I joked with you guys. I told you, I was like, did not take the meds. I was tired all day long. And so I downed a Red Bull during the show just to wake me up. But when I got to UAH, I was working on everything, because there's a lot that goes into our broadcast now when it comes to getting ready for those games that are happening on Thursday and Saturday. Thursday, UAH men and women are playing Bevacqua 5:30 and 7:30. And then Saturday at 2 and 4, they're going to be taking on Lee at Sportsman Arena in Spraggins Hall. And so there's a lot that goes into it. So I started working on it, and I was just dead tired. I was trying to watch The Bear because I love The Bear. It's such a great show. It's like 35 minutes of just pure anxiety. It's great. And it is just intense anxiety.
I've already watched Jane the Virgin, and that was the same way.
Yeah. I mean, but no, I mean, this is definitely just 30 minutes of extreme anxiety every single second of the show.
Yeah.
It just wasn't keeping me awake. So I finally sat down and said, John actually said that the Chad Powers show was not that bad.
Yes.
And I sat down and I put it on, and son of a gun, it's really not that bad.
Not that bad. It starts out a little cheesy. Look,
I mean,
a little cheesy.
I do appreciate, because I'm all about realism. I know that the school that he eventually goes to is not real.
No.
But I do appreciate the fact that Georgia, Oregon, Ole Miss, Tennessee, and again, I'm on episode 4 now. All those schools allowed them to be used in this light. Like I do think that that's pretty awesome. You had Greg McElroy, you had Kirk Herbstreit, you had all these broadcast crew, Sean McDonough, all those guys that were part of this crew, making it feel like an ESPN broadcast. I do think that it was pretty cool. But in the show, the whole show is about a quarterback that screws up in the national championship game, and he wants to go back and to try to go again. But in this story, he obviously couldn't go as himself, so he has to do some prosthetics and all that and come up with a whole new personality to be somebody else. So it's the first thing I thought of when you asked me this question. Is like, God bless it. I'm watching the Chad Powers show now, and I hate myself because I am watching it, and it's not that bad. And
it's not.
It's actually got some really good storylines in it.
I told you that 3 solid storylines. And where are they playing the football, Joe? Where they play the football?
They're playing it at Turner Field.
Yeah,
it's whatever Georgia State calls it now. It's at Turner Field.
It is the Center Park Credit Union Stadium. Yeah.
The stadium that the Braves never did anything good in.
No, they didn't.
I mean, they made the playoffs. But they never did anything good. You know what's sad?
What?
The Braves never even won a World Series game there. I just now thought about that. The Braves never won a World Series game at Turner Field.
There you go.
They never did. So that's another reason why no Braves fan really cared about Turner Field.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that. So that's where the games are being played at because they're playing as this team called South Georgia. But yes, no. If Hunter Royer walked up to me right now and were to say, "Hey, if I gave you a year to get surgery, get everything fixed, and you had eligibility, would you do it?" I would 100% give it a shot.
Well, I'll tell you what, some NFL guys are feeling a little bit more ballsy as of late. Forget about Joe Flacco playing because the Colts are bringing in 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, and he's not the only one that's coming in.
Another reason for me to hate the Colts.
36-year-old Jason Pierre-Paul is coming back to the Buccaneers practice squad. Both players working out with these teams that they played with in the past. Wasn't their mainstay back in the NFL, but still pretty intriguing stuff. But we get to the phone lines. We won't give you years, but we will give you some minutes to get out your conversation, your opinions, and so much more. And we start with the Phillip. Phillip, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right.
Good to hear.
I listened very intently to your opening statements.
Yeah.
Listen closely. College football is not in a good place. I completely agree and have said from the get-go, Notre Dame should not even be considered because of their lack of willingness to be in a conference. Shouldn't be considered. I do not understand the vitriol from SEC fans who think that it's some kind of sin to make the national championship game in college football be relevant to the nation, not reward SEC teams an unfair advantage year after year after year after year, which gives them recruits from all over the country, where these other teams that the SEC wants to laugh at, spit on, and say they're no good. Well, duh, their best players went to the SEC because they're given an unfair advantage of having a possibility to be in a national championship. What is so hard to understand about that?
All right. Well, I just want to ask a question. How is it an unfair advantage? What's the unfair advantage?
Okay. We have 12 teams. 5 of them are from the SEC.
Okay.
We have how many conferences? Yes, I listened all day yesterday. I heard 4 conferences. I heard 5. I've heard 6. Us common folk out here ain't even sure how many freaking conferences there are in college football.
Well, we're still waiting on the Pac-12 to be a conference.
Okay, well, and so let me just ask, and this is why I'm asking: why did Oregon State get left out of the college football playoff?
I can't answer that. I have no idea.
Okay,
can't answer. Don't know.
Okay, well, then why did Arizona State, Utah, Washington State, Washington, Stanford, USC, UCLA, all the teams that are on the West Coast or on the west side of the Mississippi, why did they get left out?
I can't answer that. I don't have the answer to that.
But that's why I'm saying is it's because of their record, because of what they did during the football season, is because of their strength of schedule. It is because they didn't make it to conference championships. It's all of those things. Like there's this system, and yes, there are 5 SEC teams that made in it, but there's like 150 FBS teams, something roughly around there.
Around 140, yeah. Close.
Every single one of those teams have an opportunity to make it into this tournament.
No, they don't. They don't. And here's why. And I've said it before. It's because the best of the best of the best from all across America go to the SEC.
Okay.
Because they're given the unfair advantage of multiple possibilities of being national champion. Why is the SEC? This is a monopoly.
How screwed do you think baseball is?
Look, it's a monopoly.
I see where you're going with this. Okay, the teams that get the players are going to be good. Ohio State, even Indiana now has players that are going to be good, and it's going to spread out a little bit more wide.
Are you trying to say that Kentucky had a better advantage than UTSA?
I don't know what UTSA is.
Texas San Antonio.
Being brutally honest.
Again,
I have no idea what you're even talking about.
They're a team in the American Conference that was in the exact same conference as Tulane, who's playing in the tournament to make the tournament. And Kentucky's in the SEC, but they were garbage. But it wasn't Kentucky has that patch on their jersey, so we're going to put them in.
Here's what I know.
The patch has nothing to do with it.
Here's what I know as a 58-year-old man. I used to go to my grandma's house on New Year's Day and watch bowl games. And I watched my uncles, my dad watching college football when it was kids, young men playing college football. And it just seemed to be normal. Now it's turned into if college football wants to be the NFL, they need to straighten their act up because it's unfair and it is turning off 75% of America. That's my whole argument. And that's all it is. I'm not hating. I'm just saying it's sad. Because it's not what it used to be.
No.
It used to be a thing. And it seems to me more and more and more college football is getting dragged through the mud. And I think college basketball is going to kick their butt.
Well,
at the end
it's
of
definitely
the day.
closing. The gap's closing.
It's sad.
Not by much.
Well,
but
I'm not
closing.
laughing about it. I'm just wanting it to be more fair.
Well, look, I do agree with you about how college football is broken. And I do agree with you. And thanks for that phone call, Philip. I do agree that college football does need to get its act together. I absolutely agree that there needs to be more rules when it does come to the way in which the champions or the participants in the conference or in the CFB playoff are selected. I fully agree with that.
No.
But to say that it is unfair, that is simply not true. Because at the end of the day, there are 5 conference champions, not 5 A4s or 5 Power 5s or 5 whatever. The 5 best college football conference champions get into it. We are seriously arguing about it being unfair when there are 2 non-A4 teams actually in the tournament this year, where 5, 6, 7 years ago, there wasn't even a thought that they would have this opportunity.
This is the most diverse it's ever been, Joe.
Well, and so that's where the whole unfair part comes in. Now, if you want to talk about it's unfair that all these players go to the SEC, well, again, that's like saying that the Premier League is unfair because all the best players in the world go over there instead of playing in the MLS.
Or like the MLB, all the best players go to the Dodgers, the Yankees.
I mean, but what I'm saying is if you're talking about it as a whole, everybody can get into this. Who won the Big 12 this year?
It was Texas Tech.
What did Texas Tech famously say that they were going to start doing in the offseason right before the season started?
Spending money and recruiting players.
Absolutely. And what did they do this year?
Spent $29 million to recruit all of these guys from the transfer portal.
And they won. Like that's it. It's all about winning. The Charlotte 49ers.
Oh, geez.
Okay. They had an opportunity to get into the college football playoff. They just went 1-11. Whose fault is that?
Tell me they couldn't make it.
Is it the players on the field fault? Yes. Is it the coaching staff's fault? Yes. Is it the boosters' fault? Absolutely. Is it the boosters' fault for not putting together enough money to get upgrades to the stadium or upgrades to their facility so that better players want to come there? So it's good. Look, I'm sorry, but if you're telling me I have an opportunity to go play at an Alabama, again, this is not Alabama fan here talking. Trust me, the one school I don't want my son to know about is in Tuscaloosa. If my child has an opportunity to go play at a state-of-the-art facility where every single workout, every single practice, every single meal is all carefully designed to improve their playing ability so that they could be the best that they can be on a Saturday and then best that they can be on a Sunday, no. I'm going to choose them than the team that has the same weight room that's been there for 25 years, that whenever you pull the plate off and you stack it on the rack, you look at your hands and there's nothing but rust because they haven't bought new plates in a century and a half.
No.
Like, no, I'm not going to choose that one just because, well, it's only fair that we go to Charlotte. No, if Charlotte wants to win, invest in the sport. If teams want to beat the Dodgers, invest in the sport. If teams want to beat the Golden State Warriors or the Lakers, invest in the team. That's all it's about.
And it's never changed, Joe. This has always been the case. You go back to the beginning of college football. What was college football known for? The gigantic stadiums that they had. NFL wasn't huge back then. What teams did, instead of investing in the players, they invested in the facilities, the stadiums. Penn State, first one, it was a Beaver Stadium. Huge. Back in 1893. It was the biggest stadium that anybody could make so it could fill in all of the fans that were eager to watch football. And then it just expanded more and more. It went out west, and we saw teams get up to 100,000 stands or attendance spots so fans could get in. And this drew in the players. The bigger the stadium, the more kids that came in. The Coliseum, all of that
literally,
stuff.
They wanted to play in Coliseums just like it was the Roman Coliseum.
Exactly.
That's what we talk about is, there are all these memes that are like, hey, we don't have the Roman Coliseum, but we've got Neyland and we have Bryant Denny Stadium and we have the Michigan Stadium.
We got plenty of Coliseums.
That's what it is. So then let me ask you, because again, part of this conversation that we've talked about is that the SEC strength and they have an unfair advantage. In fact, somebody over on WZZN TV, which you can comment as well, Midtown says that the SEC does have an unfair advantage when it comes to college football playoff spots. So I am assuming that they are talking about the number of teams that get in. I don't know why you would say they have an unfair advantage because they play one of, if not the most difficult schedules in all of college football. Look, I get that the American Conference, CUSA, Sun Belt, those conferences, as far as the conference games themselves, the 7, 8, 9 games that they have to play during a regular season, those games may not be that difficult as far as strength of schedule, and it may not benefit you. I get that. But you have 3 other games that if you wanted to schedule a Power 4, you want to schedule an Alabama, a Florida, a Clemson, a Texas, a Miami, a Michigan, you have the right to do so. You absolutely have the right to do so. But then let me ask you this. If the SEC has such an unfair advantage because of how strong the SEC is, tell me which team in the country had the number 1 strength of schedule in college football in 2025.
I believe that was Florida.
That was not, actually.
Okay.
It was not even a SEC team.
Oh, yeah, wait. It was Wisconsin.
Yep. Which conference are they in?
The Big Ten.
Okay. Who had the number 3 strength of schedule in college football? Now, the number 2 was Florida. Who had the number 3 strength of schedule?
I'm not 100% sure.
That'd be Purdue. Who had the number 4 strength of schedule? That'd be UCLA. What conference do they play in?
They play in the Big Ten.
That's not the SEC, right?
I don't think so.
Where's UCLA located?
I think Los Angeles.
Okay, that's not in the South, right?
No, that's all like closer to Hawaii.
So it's not into Southeast.
No.
Okay, so it's not. It's the Big Ten.
Yes.
Where's Purdue located?
Pittsburgh.
No, Indiana.
Oh, really?
Dang it.
I was trying to roll quick right there.
You really were. You really were. That's not in the South, though, right?
No, it's up north. Big
okay.
guy.
All right. So that's there. Where's Wisconsin located?
Wisconsin.
That's a good job. Not in the South, though, right?
No, it's up north.
No, not in the South. Those three teams played the most difficult schedules in college football. None of them played in the SEC.
And they got shellacked.
Now they got their tails kicked in.
Yeah.
Because they had to play probably in Ohio State and/or Michigan and/or in Indiana, like they absolutely did. The SEC cannot help that they are investing in their program, and your team is not. They can't help that LSU, Alabama, Florida, Georgia all put more and more money into their program than what Syracuse does.
Oh.
They can't help that they put more and more money into their program than what BYU does, than what Arizona State does, than what Arizona, than Washington State, UCLA, Stanford. I can go through the entire state of California, which 99% of the time doesn't even care about college football. That's not on the SEC because they are better at the recruiting. Now the NIL is in place. If your university wants to put $20 million in NIL money in, I guarantee you'll be in the college football playoff next year.
No doubt.
I guarantee it. Because that's the type of things that it takes now. Oregon. Oregon's in the college football playoff.
They're like really high up in West.
Not in the Southeast, right?
Not that I knew of.
Indiana.
North.
Ohio State.
North.
James Madison.
A little east.
All right. Just Texas Tech is, Midwest.
I think you know exactly where Texas is.
Okay, absolutely. And we know where Tulane is. Miami's in the South, so I can't use them, but this is a national tournament that anybody in the country that is a part of the FBS can get into.
You always have the ability to get into it. You just have to win.
Yeah. It's about the talent that you acquire and the process that you go about doing it. Mm-hmm. If you want to be better than the SEC, then do what the SEC does better.
256-576-97.7. I'm sorry we took so long on that one, but we got Jake on with us now. Jake, how you doing, man?
What's up, fellas? How are y'all?
Doing well.
Fantastic.
Man, first of all, we do not want to – college football does not want to be the NFL, first of all. Second off, okay, y'all just kind of hit on everything I was about to say, but let me ask you this. Other than football knowledge, what is the number one thing that the best coaches have?
I would say their ability to coach each individual player differently, but that's just a really deep answer on it, so I'm not sure.
I was going to say recruiting, right?
Well, look, and that's
what I was going to say.
About.
Personality, yeah.
So. Yeah, that's what it's about. It's about the recruiting.
So if you was a high school 18-year-old kid right now, why? If you was going to say anything was unfair, to me it would be unfair. It's unfair for the University of Miami or UCLA. Why would you want to go to Athens, Georgia, or Tuscaloosa, Alabama, rather than Miami?
This is the reason why I've never understood why Vanderbilt can't recruit better.
Yeah.
Nashville is literally a party city every night. And especially where Vanderbilt is. Like, that's the thing is I've never understood why. You think about those schools. Austin, Texas. You looked at TCU's in Fort Worth, and that's like an hour away from Dallas just because of traffic. But you look at these cities and these teams that are in major cities, UCLA is a dump, but USC, that's right down from the Staples Center, man. When I went to USC, I could look and see the Staples Center from there. Like, you look at those types of things. Washington, that's Seattle.
Dude,
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's, Northwestern is Chicago. Like, these are beautiful cities.
Anybody would want to go there. That's exactly my point. That would be the unfair point. If anything's unfair, it's like you guys said. What's unfair to me is Notre Dame and Miami getting left out for James Mary, and that's unfair to me. But what do I know? Well, I say let the little guy come in there, and that's unfair to me, though. And I understand more. But could y'all imagine? I understand Auburn because of the coaching transition and all that. Could y'all imagine Alabama getting mad last year when we got left out and pouting and crying and saying we're not going to the I cannot believe Mark Freeman is.
We don't want to play Michigan, man. We don't want to go to Tampa.
And again, there are reasons I do agree with teams opting out. I absolutely do. Like there are reasons. Well, there are reasons. One, yes, like coaching changes. Iowa State, they don't even have a coaching staff right now.
No,
like
Auburn's not ready. Auburn's not ready.
No, like I would have loved if Golish had his staff ready, which he probably does, but he just named 5 coaches like yesterday afternoon. Like he probably does, but I would much rather, if I were to this and my coaching staff was ready, go play this game just so that we can get a kickstart on the spring. Like I would I would want them to go do it. But I understand like teams like Matt Campbell that literally just left Iowa State 2 days ago.
Or Kansas State with their coach retiring.
And their new head coach right now isn't even going to be on campus because they're coaching in the college football playoff.
Yeah.
So like I understand those.
There are reasons, and then that's good for the teams that, like the Auburn, that's on the bubble that wants to go play and hungry to get better and hungry to play better. And younger teams, that's great for teams like that. That helps them. But pouting and saying you're not going because you weren't picked in the big dance, everybody wants to be in. I was upset, and I didn't watch a lot of ball games last year. I'm just telling you, I was pouting myself as a fan because Bama didn't get in, but we didn't deserve to be in, and if we got to have the group of five, we have to have the James Marys and the teams like that. We have to have them in there. Then so be it. But that is unfair to me. It's unfair to James Mary. It's unfair to Notre Dame and Miami. But what can you do?
Yeah, and of course those teams.
Fair as fair can be.
Those teams getting in is what helps make it a national tournament. Like Philip wants to press so many times, but we appreciate that call, Jake. Always good to hear from you, man. We got to hit a break. It's James Madison, by the way, and this is why we left him out in the years
James
prior.
Marion?
No, Jamal Marion.
Jamal Marion.
It's like, what is the school called?
Look,
hold that thought.
We'll continue to talk about this. There's another reason I also think that Notre Dame also stayed out.
Okay.
But there's 2 reasons, and we'll have them when we come back on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, ESPN Winchester, and WZZN TV.
Also, Grumpy, stay on the line. We'll get to you.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham. You can watch the Blitz live now on X at 97.7 ESPN.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Atlanta Falcons on Thursday night, a 4.5-point underdog at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have dropped 4 of 5. They're tied for first place in the NFC South with Carolina. Both teams had 7-6 records. Seattle with a 37-9 win over Atlanta on Sunday. Coming up 1 week from tonight, it's the Salute to Veterans Bowl in Montgomery. It's Troy laying 3 against Jacksonville State, 51.5 the total. A week from Friday, Alabama taking on Oklahoma in the college football playoff first round. The Crimson Tide, a 1.5 road favorite, 41.5 the total. Alabama 25-1 to win the title. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Exceptional outcomes start with exceptional therapists, and that's what you'll find at Johnson & Hayes Physical Therapy. With 7 convenient locations across North Alabama, Johnson & Hayes offers expert care close to home. Our experienced clinicians specialize in everything from orthopedic and neurological rehab to TMJ, pelvic health, and lymphedema therapy. Johnson & Hayes is trusted by physicians and by patients across the region. Visit johnsonandhayes.com and see why outcomes matter at Johnson & Hayes.
Injured in a car accident? Get the help you need. I'm Morris Lilienthal, a personal injury lawyer right here in Huntsville. I've personally helped over 4,000 clients with their injury claims. My firm, Martinson & Beeson, has been helping clients for over 80 years, and we have received over 300 5-star Google reviews. We know that injuries and accidents can be life-changing, and I'm here to help you navigate the entire process. Get in touch with me right now by visiting morristheattorney.com. There's no charge for our meeting. Again, that's morristheattorney.com. I look forward to helping you.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by the lawyer.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Mike Owen at Owen Home Appliance Center. You know, the holiday season is just around the corner. So come to Owen Home Appliance Center and get the complete Frigidaire kitchen. You buy the fridge, the range, and the microwave, and you get a dishwasher free. Or maybe you need a commercial kitchen for that huge family coming in for the holiday season. Let them help you with brands like Viking, Miele, KitchenAid, Z-Line, and Cafe. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service. That's what Owen Home Appliance Center stands for. Just 8 miles south of the river on 231.
Need tough equipment you can count on? Christopher Equipment has you covered. Whether it's air compressors, trenchers, bucket lifts, concrete tools, generators, skid steers, and more. Serving you with locations in Tullahoma, Shelbyville, Manchester, Fayetteville, and Hazel Green. Christopher Equipment. From job site to backyard, rent or buy, Christopher Equipment delivers the tools you need when you need them. Call 931-455-3900 or visit Christopher.equipment today. Christopher Equipment, powering your project.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Final segment of the first hour. It's been a wild first hour, very energetic first hour here on the Blitz. And, of course, we do have phone lines. But, Joe, do you want to finish that thought, or do you want to?
No, let's go to phone lines. That's more important. I can get to mine whenever we have a second.
Grumpy, how you doing, man?
Hey, pretty good. Hey, I just wanted to talk to Philip for a second and say, hey, if you don't recognize if you don't recognize college football, I'm sorry. If college football is unrecognizable now from what you saw when you were watching it with your father, I agree with you. And when your son watches it with his son, it will be unrecognizable to what we're watching today. Mm-hmm. This is a work in progress. Don't get too worked up on the inequality of smaller teams to have a bite at the apple right now. We're still at the infant stage of this. They're going to get the televisions turned on in Seattle for college ball. It's just going to take 30 years. That's the whole reason to have James Madison in this. Yeah. You know, I'm not telling you guys anything you don't already know.
No, this is just specifics.
In 30 years, college ball will not be recognizable to what we see today.
Absolutely.
It's going to change. It's going to, yeah. So don't get too worked up about it. Change is coming, Philip. You have some good points, and change is coming. And it's just it's just a slow road to hoe.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you know. Yeah. No, you're right. It's all part of the transition. Thanks, bro.
With Joe Hunk and John Abraham, 256-576-4977.
Experience something extraordinary this season at Loring & Company Fine Jewelers. December 9th and 10th, Loring & Company Fine Jewelers proudly presents the Faux Pay Trunk Show. Faux Pay is where traditional Italian craftsmanship meets modern innovation. Their signature design, Flexit, is a true masterpiece of engineering. An exclusive patented system that creates jewelry that's completely flexible, remarkably comfortable, and beautifully crafted in solid 18-karat gold. Each piece bends and moves with you, thanks to tiny 18-karat gold springs hidden within the design. And here's the incredible part. These pieces are guaranteed to keep their flexibility for a lifetime. Whether you're just beginning your fine jewelry collection or you're the collector who already has everything, Faux Pay offers something truly special. Come in, slip them on, and feel the Italian craftsmanship for yourself. The Faux Pay Trunk Show, December 9th and 10th, only at Loring & Company Fine Jewelers, 800 Airport Road in Huntsville. Details at loringjewelers.com.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at All About Water. Crazy name, huh? Well, let me introduce you to them. All About Water is the top pond builder anywhere in the Tennessee Valley, and that includes remodeling or cleaning out existing ponds as well. They also have monthly maintenance plans for your pond. Don't have a pond? Well, how about a fountain or water feature for your property to bring that soothing sound of running water to your happy place? On the other hand, Maybe you have water on your property that you don't want. Well, Ryan at All About Water is all about water, so he could take care of that as well. He has a background in fluid dynamics, and what that means is that he can take care of any water issue that you have. Finally, how about that irrigation system that you have or that you want? Well, they do installs and maintenance and repairs on those as well, because they are all about water. Learn more at allaboutwaterllc.com. That's allaboutwaterllc.com.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Looking deep downfield, looking for Williams. Comes back, makes the catch, trying to split defenders, makes them bang into each other, stays on his feet, breaks a tackle, scores! Ryan Williams, one play, 75 yards.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Firehawk Aerospace is a non-traditional defense contractor advancing the state of propulsion to strengthen the U.S. Defense Initiative. Founded in 2019, Firehawk Aerospace established early leadership in manufacture propulsion with the development of 3D printed hybrid rocket fuel grains. Visit firehawkaerospace.com to learn more. That's firehawkaerospace.com.
Eagle Masonry and Insulation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at the service department at Woody Anderson Ford. When you need service on your vehicle, whether it's a Ford or any other make, you want to get into Woody Anderson Ford, where their expert service technicians will get it diagnosed and repaired right away, the right way. And while you are there, check out all the new and pre-owned vehicles at Woody Anderson as well. They are ready to make you the best deal possible. Visit Woody Anderson Ford today.
Woody Anderson Ford on Jordan Lane in Huntsville, Hughes Road in Madison, and online at woodyAndersonFord.com.
College football lives here.
Daniels quick out left side, trying to make a man miss. They do, but down and it's a tackle. It's a fumble, and Alabama's got it.
Mateer to throw, looking right, has time, deep across the middle,
wide open behind the defense. Atania all alone. Touchdown! 58 yards. Sooner magic on a Saturday night.
College football lives here.
Fernando takes the snap, hands it to Kalon Black, pounds his way forward, touchdown Indiana.
Snap back to Gunner. He'll throw it. Caught by Branch. He twists. He pivoted in and scrambles into the end zone for the 4-yard.
The fake to Lacey down the field. He's got a receiver. Caught at the 35, the 40. Breaking free to the 45, to the 40 is Alexander. He could go. He does. Touchdown, Ole Miss.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Atlanta Falcons on Thursday night, a 4.5-point underdog at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have dropped 4 of 5. They're tied for first place in the NFC South with Carolina. Both teams had 7-6 records. Seattle with a 37-9 win over Atlanta on Sunday. Coming up 1 week from tonight, it's the Salute to Veterans Bowl in Montgomery. It's Troy laying 3 against Jacksonville State, 51.5 the total. A week from Friday, Alabama taking on Oklahoma in the college football playoff first round. The Crimson Tide, a 1.5 road favorite, 41.5 the total. Alabama 25-1 to win the title. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen. High temperatures for this Tuesday will warm into the low 50s for the afternoon. Expect to see a partly sunny sky. Heading into our Tuesday night, we remain quiet. Low temperatures fall into the upper 30s for the overnight. We'll remain under a partly cloudy sky.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Second hour, final hour, best hour, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Joe Hunk, John Abraham with you for another hour on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as WZZN TV, where you can get those comments in. We've got a lot of those that are flowing in now about Notre Dame, the changes in college football, and all that has kind of spawned from what has happened over the last 48 hours between the SEC playoffs happening, basically is what is the Philip is wanting to call it. But it's the college football playoffs that has now been announced. All 12 teams are in, and Notre Dame opting out of the bowls that they were invited to go to, which was the Pop-Tart Bowl. That was the bowl that they were invited to go to.
You guys did throw out a good idea, though. We should do an SEC tournament in football. I think that would be great.
Look, I agree that I believe that we should have play-in games for the college football playoff. I would take that over expanding. I would say that those teams that are up for 12, spot number 12 and spot number 11, let them play a play-in game this weekend and then go into the college football playoff. Have it at home, have it in front of their home crowd, have James Madison go to Nashville and play Vandy.
Why don't we just do
or have Miami and Notre Dame play against each other?
A 4-team in each conference, a 4-team bracket. And then have them just like, here's because 4 teams going up against each other, and we get the best 2 out of it. And then that already goes into the postseason where it's like we already can chop off all of these teams that weren't going to win anyway. And then you'd make sure that you wouldn't get SEC versus SEC. Is that what people want?
No.
I mean, is that how we want to do college football? Come on now.
Now, I do agree that, I do think that, I am not opposed to having 5 automatic qualifiers for the 5 best conference champions. Look, this argument would not even have happened if Virginia would have done what they were supposed to do in Charlotte.
When did they ever?
I mean, in all reality, that stadium was half full. Duke, who is right down the road in the same state as the bowl game, as the ACC championship game, they can't even pack out the stadium, US Bank or whatever it's called now. Yeah. Like, they can't even pack that out, and they were in the championship game.
Duke is Virginia's daddy, not just on the basketball court, but in football as well.
So, again, I'm not opposed to the 5 best conference champions getting in because, again, we are sitting here and complaining about how this is unfair when we have 2 teams, one of which was playing in the FCS national championship less than 5 years ago, now playing in the college football playoff. If that is not showing you at what dedication and actual commitment to a university and an athletic program can do for you, I don't know what will prove your mind. Because James Madison, again, they're the only reasons that North Dakota State hasn't won 20 in a row. Mm-hmm. Like, they are, because James Madison was coming in and they were playing, and they were the teams that was beating North Dakota State in the national championship. So I can't help that little old James Madison has decided, you know what, we're going to put money into our athletic program, and we're going to make sure that we get the best players, and we're going to make sure that even based on the system, we are going to go in and we are going to have one of the top 5 best conference champions in the country, and we will be going to the to the college football playoff. Can't help that. Can't help it. It's not our fault that the rules that have been laid out, we haven't been successful in them. Blame Duke. Blame the ACC. That it's their fault that we're in. Either James Madison or Tulane was going to get in. Now, that's their fault. Notre Dame's fault, on the other hand, that's all on you, bro. That is all 1,000% on you. The reason why Notre Dame said no to the bowl game, I think multiple reasons, but the number one reason is they got invited to a bowl game that was on an ESPN property. If they had been invited to the Sun Bowl, they would have participated because that's on CBS. If NBC had a bowl game and Notre Dame got invited to it, they would have played on it. They are 100% acting like the Elon Musk of college football. They have the money, they have the facilities, they have the lawyers that they can go toe-to-toe with college football, and they can argue about a lot of things that we all also agree with. I know that if you take the chrome helmet off of this thing and you take the touchdown Jesus out of this, and if you were talking about Oklahoma State, okay, let's just randomly throw a team in. If this was Oklahoma State doing it and they had the money and they had the facilities and they had the lawyers and they had everything else, nobody would be as upset about this as it is. It's because it's Notre Dame. Just like everybody else in the country is upset at one team getting in because it's Alabama. If this would have been South Carolina last year, people would not have been as upset because it's South Carolina. Good for them. It's not one of the three that we always see. Good for them.
I mean, this all happened to Florida State just a few years ago. And yeah, they got upset, but they still continued to play a game. Yeah. They played a bowl game, everybody.
But this is all about Notre Dame saying, hey, we don't have a single television deal with you guys.
Yeah, we ain't got to do this.
The only reason we ever even play on an ESPN property is because we're on the road. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Weren't they playing in the Pop-Tarts Bowl, though?
That was going to be the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
Yeah, they would have gotten to eat a beautiful golden Pop-Tart if they won.
I mean, and so that's the reason why they said no.
Yeah.
The other part of this, and now with a lot of these teams that have said no, because you have had 10 teams. 10 teams have currently said no. You have had Notre Dame, Kansas State, Iowa State, Baylor, Rutgers, Florida State, Auburn, Temple, UCF, and Kansas have all opted out. Now, the reason for that, one of the reasons, is because, again, this week is finals week. Once this is done, those players are on a plane going home that has already been planned. The flights have all been planned. The cars have been gassed up. Oil's been put in it. And some of them, if they can take their test online, they're already at home. Like, they're there. They were 5-7, no practice. They've already cleaned out their lockers. They've already cleaned out the locker room. You were to walk down right now into Jordan-Hare Stadium, the entire football facility would be immaculately clean because everybody is gone. That's why they said no. There's another part of me that has a question about this as well. And the coaches kind of have to go with this. But we have heard now from multiple people that we have done interviews with on the Blitz that players are agreeing to play in bowl games because they have to because of NIL. Because the NIL agreement that they have signed on says if our team makes it to a bowl game, you are subject to play.
Yep.
So if they don't make it to a bowl game, then they're still just getting paid. They just don't have to play in the bowl game. So if you're a player, it's like, dude, I'm so over this season. I'm over this. I'm over these guys. I'm over this coaching staff. I'm probably entering the transfer portal. All right, guys, let's take a vote. Do you want to play? Well, if I don't want to play, but everybody else plays, then I've got to play because I'm not going to get paid. Well, if there's enough of us that don't want to play that are wanting to still get paid, then why don't we just all say we don't want to play? So we're still getting our money and we upheld our part of the agreement.
Yeah.
And then the coaches are like, do you want to be the coach that says, hey, I'm going against NIL? You don't want to be that coach because what's going to happen? It's going to start going around into the circles. Hey, just letting you know right now that this coach right here, he's not a fan of you getting paid. He'll say that, but he's already proven that he'll go against NIL. That hurts you in recruiting. So if your team opts out because they don't want to play and they're like, screw this, I'm done. I want to go home. I'm transferring out. I don't want to wear this uniform again, but I still want to get my check. If they opt out, then they still get paid. I think somewhere in there, I'm not saying it's 25%, not saying it's 50%, not even saying 75%. There is a percentage of this that I also believe that it is these players saying, I don't want to play another game for these guys, but I still want to get my money. And I definitely want to get it before Christmas.
No.
And I got a girlfriend I got to buy a ring for now because, I've got all this NIL money and, she's having my kid in a few weeks. And so, I kind of have to do that, because I've screwed up and, unlike the Pop-Tart, I didn't pop out.
Well, college.
And next thing you know.
Hey, college football players can screw up now because they get the money from it as well.
But see, that's what I'm saying is I think NIL is also playing into this because if the players are signing an agreement that says that they have to play in the bowl game if the team plays, then why not just not play in the bowl game? You still get paid.
I mean, you don't need to. For Florida State, Auburn, UCF, Baylor, Kansas, Rutgers, and Temple, they don't get fined for not playing in these bowl games. They don't, because they're the ones that are declining the offer to hop in.
People do not realize how much money universities spend sending your team to these bowl games.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get how much money it costs.
It's a lot of dudes on a plane flying to some country.
Obviously, I'm not going to say it on the air. You have no idea how much it cost just for UAH to fly to Nova to start the basketball season. You have no idea.
I got some idea.
You have an idea. But it costs a lot of money to do this stuff. So, yes, there is a massive expense to this that a lot of times the bowl game reward is not worth it.
Mm-hmm. 256-576-97.7 is the number to get in. Before we get into our conversation with Dawson Easterlow over at Southwest Louisiana ESPN, we got Joe on with us. Joe, how are you doing today, sir?
Doing good.
Hey, I'm doing pretty good, man. Love the show. Just a couple things. I just want to call a few spades a spade. One, I think we need to stop calling it NIL. It's just free agency.
It is. It's yearly free agency.
Absolutely. Secondly, Miami got in. The only reason they got in, like you said, is because Virginia didn't win, and the committee cannot sit there and be like, well, we don't have an ACC team in here. We've got to have someone represent them. So that's why Miami got in. Let's call it a spade. Because Notre Dame was ranked ahead of Miami for week, even the Sunday before, the Tuesday before the Sunday. It's a joke. That's the only reason. And it's funny how Miami got in. They're from the ACC. And if you follow the money, I've been doing some research on this. ESPN has ties with SEC and ACC, and those teams get paid accordingly, get payouts. And that's another reason why, because ESPN owns the rights to the playoffs up to 30-32 or 30-31, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's in the best interest of ESPN's people to make sure an ACC team and an SEC team like Alabama, who the first team in 16 years who's actually lost the championship game and didn't drop, that is total BS.
Yeah.
So let's call a spade a spade. It's got nothing
Auburn
to do
in
with
2017.
the team. It's got nothing to do with records. It's got nothing to do with the jersey. It's the money. And I've been saying it for years, ever since the SEC got in bed with ESPN 20 years ago. That's why they get all the preseason bias rankings. For example, there was 4 teams this year from the SEC that was highly preseason ranked. So it looks like, oh my God, Alabama played a number 10 Tennessee and a number 8. And then at the end of the year, them 4 teams are not even ranked. So it's been a bias for the last 20 years. It's not going to get better. And it is what it is. College football is ruined. I don't think there's no coming back from it. It's just money ruins everything. And it has ruined college football. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you for that. I know we won't have time to talk about it today, but let's put it down for tomorrow. The conversation of, it is, he says that it's ruined. I say that it is 100% broken.
And I agree with Grumpy, where this is just the beginning of a change that is going to last a little bit It's going to take a while.
Change happens. People wanted to complain a few years ago when we had conference realignment. People wanted to complain even further back whenever the BCS was taking over the AP polls and everything, calling their national champions. People wanted to say that the college football was broken when we went to a 14 playoff. People, if you want to go back into the early 90s, people wanted to call the college football broken and that it was unfixable when the SEC went to play in a conference championship game, because how asinine is that you're going to have your number 1 and number 2 teams play each other in a conference championship game? That's stupid. So they're going to say that. You can go back into the way that the 80s were concerned, and college football is broken now because teams like BYU are bringing in the air raid offense, and we're no longer running the football the same way that we used to. And, college football isn't the same like it used to be because, nobody's doing the, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. And you go back into the 60s and 70s, and college football is broken because now we're integrating players. And now it's going to be, we got a bunch of players though that are integrated, and they've got an advantage over all these schools that don't have black players on their teams. We go, now the forward pass. I could continue to go back all the way through history and continue to say that every single thing that college football is adapting. College football is actually growing. If you look at the ratings overall, college football is growing. The national championship in basketball, because I remember that Philip even mentioned that, and about the ratings for the ratings for the national championship in college basketball last year got an 18.1. Ohio State and Michigan this year got an 18.4. It's Michigan, Ohio State. It is the biggest rivalry in college football when it comes to a national presence. You can get upset about that if you're Alabama and Auburn fans, but Auburn has yet to hold up their end of the deal in a way that has made it as consistent as the way the big game is between Ohio State, or the game is between Ohio State and Michigan. It's just the numbers that are telling the truth on that. 18.4 million outdid the national championship game in college basketball and the Final Four last year in college basketball. The sport is still growing. 256-576-4977. As we continue, let's go down to Louisiana when we come back here in just a few moments on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. This is the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games, and if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title, because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
Need tough equipment you can count on? Christopher Equipment has you covered. Whether it's air compressors, trenchers, bucket lifts, concrete tools, generators, skid steers, and more. Serving you with locations in Tullahoma, Shelbyville, Manchester, Fayetteville, and Hazel Green. Christopher Equipment. From job site to backyard, rent or buy, Christopher Equipment delivers the tools you need when you need them. Call 931-455-3900 or visit Christopher.equipment today. Christopher Equipment, powering your project. Football season and Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. The perfect combination of good times and great food. This season, score big with one of our chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness. Our delicious burgers are made with premium Angus beef, and you can pair it with one of our signature cocktails or a cold craft beer from our huge selection. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and our new location at Cliff Farm, Highway 72 in Madison.
Remember, don't try this at home, kids. I am a professional.
Tuesday, December 16th, we want you to help us celebrate the holidays by helping the Marines Toys for Tots Foundation. All you have to do is bring an unwrapped toy to Field Day, located off of University Drive on Tuesday, December 16th.
Welcome to the party, pal.
We'll have food and live broadcasts of the Tom Abraham Show, plus the drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton.
1 year membership in the Jelly of the Month Club.
Clark, that's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year.
That it is, Edward.
It's the perfect way to celebrate the holidays by helping the Marines Toys for Tots Foundation, presented by Talent Heating and Air. The party starts at 5 p.m.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas from 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, Talent Heating and Air, and Toys for Tots. We'll see you on the 16th.
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's right. That's right.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Mike Owen at Owen Home Appliance Center. Are those new school clothes wearing out that old washer and dryer? Well, it's time to get off the bus at Owen Home Appliance Center and learn what a new Speed Queen washer can do for you. They're in stock and are ready for delivery now. At Owen Home Appliance Center, quality products, quality pricing, quality service. It's right there in the name, Owen Home Appliance Center. 2 locations to serve you, Highway 36 in Somerville and the interactive location at Highway 231 in Lacey Springs, just 8 miles south of the river.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
The holidays are here, and so is the holiday pizzazz at Loring & Company Fine Jewelers. At Loring & Company, they know this season is all about family, time, and meaningful connections. And when it comes to finding that perfect gift, they make it easy, enjoyable, and unforgettable. Step into a sparkling world of the world's most desired jewelry brands, all in one place. Their friendly, experienced staff is ready to help you discover something extraordinary. Whether you're shopping for a spouse, a parent, a child, or treating yourself to a little festive shine, finding the right gift doesn't have to be stressful. At Loring & Company Fine Jewelers, it's a pleasure. They'll help you choose a piece that says exactly what you want it to say, beautifully. This holiday season, let the Loring family welcome you into theirs. Visit Loring & Company Fine Jewelers at 800 Airport Road in Huntsville and shop anytime at loringjewelers.com. Add a little holiday pizzazz to your celebrations at Loring & Company Fine Jewelers.
Talking Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, let's keep this going on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Joe Hunk, John Abraham with you as we continue. Don't forget Havoc Hour coming up tonight at the Iceplex.
I didn't forget.
No, neither have I. I have my wardrobe change. I am ready to go so that you are nice and warm inside of Zambrowski's right atop rink number 1 inside the Iceplex. If you've never been there, all you got to do is just walk straight in. You'll see the stairs right in front of you. Go up those. It doesn't matter if you go to rink 1, rink 2, just head all the way to the back and it will get you to Zambrowski's.
Yeah, and it's going to be a very fun night. Always is, and it's presented by Minuteman Press.
There's no parade tonight.
And there's no parade tonight, so let's stack out that place. And again, $1 off beers if you guys are old enough. Don't tell your kids that. Regardless, you guys can also go on over to Fleming Roofing and Restoration and get yourself a brand new roof, whether you want to look them up online at FlemingHSV.com or show up at their doorstep. They are the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. And right now you can get a free quote over on their website. And remember that Fleming always shows up, just like Dawson Easerlo, when it comes to all of our Louisiana news from the Southwest Louisiana ESPN. Dawson joins us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Dawson, is college football playoffs broken, or do you think this is the best that it's been since going into this 12-team playoff, which is just 2 years old now?
Yeah, no, great to be back on, man. So I don't think the playoffs broken. I think college football as a whole, the structure has been, the foundation has some cracks in it, but that's nothing new. Look, honestly, and I talked about this on my show a couple days ago, almost every problem and complaint that people are having about this 12-team playoff right now is a direct result of conference realignment. When this playoff was formalized, when we were talking about this, when we had a 4-team playoff, and it felt like a bunch of different years we had some really great teams that were left out, some teams that were undefeated, some teams that had one loss. You sit there and you go, well, if we took the best of each of these conferences, we've got these 5 regional power leagues, and then we, between the rest of the country, there's usually at least 1 or 2 really, really deserving quality football teams. What if we created a system where all those teams got in, plus the best of the rest? We get 12 total. And then before we ever got to a playoff, the Pac-12 had, basically dissolved, and those teams were absorbed, and we had these like moderate, these almost super leagues with 18, 19 teams, no divisions. You could play an entire conference schedule and not see half the teams in the league. And so when you look up and the result is the ACC getting left out and Tulane and James Madison both getting in and people feeling like maybe Notre Dame was more deserving. I don't think the playoffs what's broken. I think the structures of college football have failed the system. And so, no, I don't feel bad at all for Notre Dame for getting left out. I feel great for Tulane and James Madison to have something to play for when for, the last 50, 60 years, they've been told no matter if they go undefeated or not, that they weren't going to have a shot at a postseason. It's just, I think it's a different, people are mad at the wrong things, I guess, is my take on it.
Well, and you also, for people that don't know, you also do a lot for UL and the Raging Cajuns. And that is another team that, we talked about in the first hour was, hey, we had somebody call in saying that it's all unfair and it's unfair. And I was like, we're really literally wanting to bash a college football playoff where for the first time in history, you have 2 G5s or, non-A4s playing in this thing. And you also have one that was in the FCS like 5 years ago playing in it. But on your side of things with Louisiana and what you see from the Raging Cajuns and recruiting and everything else, is this going to help a team like UL be able to walk into a home and say, you can play in the college football playoff if you come to UL?
Right. Well, that's been my whole point, right, is that we can't have a system where half and really more than half of the teams that are playing in the division with a right to the same postseasons, the same bowl games, the same TV contracts and all that stuff, and tell them no matter how many games they win that they're not included in the playoffs. And so we've had that for a long time. And, ironically enough, like Tulane's a team that's going to get in this year. Tulane went undefeated in 1998, went 13-0 and played in the Liberty Bowl. That was their prize. Yep. And I know that was even predating when we had the BCS where we had a championship game. And so look, college football's postseason's been a little bit messed up for a long time now, but absolutely. Yeah, that was the goal here. And especially in an era now, and I heard this brought up, like a school like North Texas, a handful of years ago, they had such a promising young quarterback, a freshman this year. They had a freshman running back who was amazing. Their receiver was an underclassman. In the old era of college football, you just sat there and gone, man, that team's going to be a problem for the next 3 or 4 years. Well, now those guys are probably going to leave North Texas, especially considering the coach just left. So with those schools already being vulnerable to losing their best players year in and year out, there needed to be some sort of, thing to even the playing field. And yeah, I think playoff inclusion is that. The other thing about it too, guys, that's just if the ACC didn't have completely mangled tiebreaker situations, you would have had one team in. And I think there would have been a lot less people losing their mind about one team being included, which would have been Tulane as opposed to having 2. That's on the ACC for their tiebreaker stuff, man. It's just that shouldn't have happened. Miami should have played Virginia in the championship game, but they didn't figure it out in time.
Yeah. No, and at the end of the day, we still get one ACC team in, and it comes at the expense of the Fighting Irish. But, of course, at the beginning of the season, a lot of people were saying that one Louisiana team would most likely make it to the playoffs and possibly even make it to the national championship. Well, the team that made it in is not that team. Tulane makes it in. And talk a little bit about it. John Sumrall and the growth that he has had with this program in the last 3 years, now already kind of, 1 foot out the door, but still staying at Tulane to watch this whole thing, finish off against a Pete Golden-led Ole Miss squad. It's quite interesting, this matchup. Talk a little bit about Tulane, though, and how much John Sumrall really has set them up for success.
It's been incredible. And, look, I grew up going to Tulane football games in New Orleans. That's where I was from. And I sat in empty Superdomes with 5,000 people in a 70,000 seat stadium and watched them go 2-10 year in and year out. And I mean, maybe it was a torture tactic by my dad. I don't know, but we went game in, game out, man, and watched all this stuff go down. And so for them to be where they are now, it's really hard to even fathom. But what John Summerall did independently is incredible. Wins a couple titles in the Sun Belt Conference, takes the Tulane job. Last year has an incredible season. This Darian Mensah story, loses his quarterback for the exact reasons we just discussed. Right now, you can come in and a guy can take your players. They gave him a huge NIL contract. So Summerall goes the whole offseason looking for quarterbacks, brings in a few different transfers. The spring was a disaster. And I mean, I had people from that program going, yeah, man, I don't know if they're going to be able to complete forward passes this year. So what happens? Jake Retzlaff gets dismissed from BYU. Tulane calls him up. He walks on to the team, joins the squad a month before the season starts, and becomes their starting quarterback. They beat Northwestern. They beat Duke in the rematch with the quarterback situation. They got pretty banged up there, and they went up to Oxford, and they got smoked by Ole Miss. They learned from it. They got better as the season went on. They had another bad loss to UTSA, a team that, for whatever reason is impossible to beat on the road in conference play. But they just kept getting better. And now this team comes back. North Texas had the number one offense in the country. Green Wave held them down, held them in check. They win the American Conference, and they get a playoff bid. It's rather incredible what Summerall's done. And I'll tell you the thing I'm most impressed with Summerall is he takes the Florida job. And I was there when Billy Napier took the Florida job after leaving UL. And I don't even have a whole lot of ill will towards Billy Napier the way some do, but he took everybody on that staff. He took recruits. He took anybody that was willing to go with him. John Summerall told the Tulane signing class, sign with Tulane. I don't want you to leave and follow me. I want Tulane to have their recruits. And he stayed, and he's still there coaching this team in the playoffs. It's been, I think, the best way it could have possibly gotten handled. Mm-hmm. I don't think it could have been the same exact way with Kiffin and Ole Miss, right, because of the different arguments there and being a conference rival. But it's been rather impressive. And I will say this, I don't know if Tulane's got the firepower to go up to Oxford and beat that Ole Miss team, but I've expected to be a far more competitive game than it was the first time around.
Yeah, no doubt. And the way I look at it, I feel like they have more of a chance than, of course, the James Madison versus an Oregon, but only time will tell. And of course, going over to LSU with Lane Kiffin, he is letting his staff go back and coach this team for Ole Miss throughout the playoffs. But how has it kind of been, though, with Lane Kiffin coming in and establishing himself as the next head coach of the Tigers?
Yeah, look, Lane's got a lot of momentum, man. And I'll tell you what, back to the Tulane situation, right, which is all intertwined. I actually was there in New Orleans for the American Championship game, and the fourth quarter's winding down. And I had talked to some people, around, and everybody, the assumption was that Blake Baker was going to Tulane, from the people that I talked. And I'm not talking like plugged in with the program, but just people peripherally that felt pretty good about the search and where it was headed. Yeah. They felt like it was going to be Blake Baker. And then we get the notification that Blake Baker's staying put at LSU, and the timing of it right as Tulane is winning this American Championship game. I think that shell shocked some people, but it's good news for LSU, man. They keep their guy who has built that defense into a power. Obviously, we know that most of LSU's problems this year were on the offensive side of the football, so Kiffin comes in to fix that, and Baker stays in place to help the defense out. I will say that the weirdest thing to me is all these staff members that are headed back to Oxford this week. I fully understand why Ole Miss didn't want to let him coach, and to an extent, I understand the idea of Ole Miss sitting there going, well, wait a minute, who's going to call plays? Like, what are we doing? Is this going to be backyard football? But to let your OC go back and to let his assistants now, so a bunch of the offensive staff members are also headed back, and they're going to be there for a week. And I think part of the reason they probably didn't want Lane Kiffin around was the idea that he could be recruiting players back to LSU. Now you got all these guys who are going to be here for the next week, and then they're headed back to Baton Rouge.
What are they going to be doing?
It's also the week. It's also before they can actually enter the transfer portal as well. Let me just emphasize that part is part of this.
It's a weird situation. I kind of get Ole Miss being like, well, what are we going to do? Hire a new offensive coordinator that doesn't know these players, doesn't know the offense, and try to win a game that way? But that's why, again, I think this Tulane matchup is really interesting. Like, Tulane has, at least a somewhat similar issue with Summerall splitting time between Gainesville and New Orleans right now. But at least they're going to have their full staff in place. This whole skeleton staff for Ole Miss, going over there to coach these guys. I don't know what that's going to look like.
No doubt. It adds to the problems that college football has right now, and that's just the timing of all this stuff. It's awkward, it's weird, and it doesn't leave us with the best playoffs that we could get with these teams. Ole Miss, what are we going to get out of this squad without Lane Kiffin? And I'm surprised the committee didn't really touch on that at all. It just was like, oh, you know what? They're fine. There's still a top-ranked SEC squad. They should be all right without, Kiffin at the helm, but definitely does make it interesting. But I do want to know, with what's happening with Tulane now, of course, you see who comes in. I believe it's Will Hall. He's getting promoted. What does this leave Tulane? Are they going to continue on with their success that they've seen in these last 6 years? Or do you think that there might be a little fall off before getting back up to this position? I mean, we're talking about a team that's in the playoffs right now. Is there a possibility that they could get back in the next few years with this new coach hiring?
Well, I'll tell you what, this is a fascinating hire, and I think it's more risky than anything. The idea is to retain as much talent as possible. Will Hall is he's a coach that the players love. I got a friend of mine who actually played under Will Hall when Hall was the OC at Tulane the first time around. And, I reached out to him this week, and he said everybody's going to love him. He's a coach that makes you feel valued. He makes you feel wanted. He's got a special connection with his players. So that's the goal here. But let's be honest, it was a disaster for Will Hall at Southern Miss. He got fired from that job after last season, and he just didn't have it. And, there was a question about resources. I'm sure Tulane's going to set him up a little bit better than the Eagles did in Hattiesburg. But they made a splashy hire when they lost Willie Fritz. They went out and got John Summerall, the two-time Sun Belt champ, from right down the road in Troy, Alabama. And that was like, wow, Tulane's getting a guy who already was winning the conference at a similar level. That's impressive. The Will Hall hire doesn't scream that, right? Mm-hmm. It screams a little bit, we struck out with Blake Baker, and this is who was left. So I don't know if it's going to work out this time around. I hope it does, because like I said, I've heard nothing but great things about Will Hall and his ability to connect with his players. But this is not the flashy hire that a lot of the Tulane faithful were hoping for. And look, sometimes that's the nature of Blake Baker, runs away at the altar. It felt like that deal was almost done. And so what are you left with? And apparently Will Hall is the move they had to make. So I think it's risky with all the momentum the program's at. It's in the best spot it's ever been in. He's got to find a way to keep it rolling, and it's going to be difficult.
Well, and I know that we're kind of jumping around from different teams and all that sort of thing, but with LSU and obviously the Lane Kiffin hire, you were talking a lot about that and the coaches going back. But as far as the LSU team itself, was this a broken team where a lot of things needs to be fixed, or was just this what we say similar to like with Auburn when Hugh Freeze left, it sounded like everything got better?
Yeah, well, the interesting thing from a roster standpoint, it's going to have to be rebuilt because the defensive players that they went out and got in the portal were a lot of, 1-year rentals. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are going to be moving on. And, Montour Delane and Whit Weeks are both not going to play in the bowl game, by the way. And you'll have to wonder, obviously, Delane's going to be a top NFL prospect, so they're going to have a lot of things to try and replace on that side of the football. And then offensively, you had a senior quarterback in Nussmeier. The offensive line was young, but it didn't play very well. And we know Kiffin's going to put his own stamp on that, and I imagine he's going to bring a lot of players in. So, this roster is going to look entirely different, I think, next season. The hope for them is that Baker has kind of established himself. I think, it's going to be a portal destination that a lot of players are going to want to go to. But the things that made LSU at least competitive this year, to maybe answer your question the best I can, those players are not going to be there next year for the most part. So, they have a lot of work to do in kind of retooling this roster.
Surprised to see LSU not make a similar decision that Notre Dame, Kansas State, and some other teams have made, as well as Auburn, who has just kind of declined bowl games in and of its own way. But you're playing in the Texas Bowl, Houston versus LSU. Is Lane Kiffin going to be on the sidelines? How is this whole thing going to go?
He's not. From everything we know, he's going to continue to let Frank Wilson coach, which, by the way, talk about a weird situation. It was kind of assumed that Kiffin was going to find a spot for Frank Wilson on this coaching staff. And yet Frank Wilson comes out today and says his future has not been made clear to him. Oh, wow. So now we got another little deal. Yeah, I don't understand how that's going either. Kiffin's the coach in waiting, but he's not coaching yet. They take the bowl game, which, look, I am all four teams taking it. The seniors getting one last chance to play. I appreciate all that stuff. We did have a situation when Brian Kelly took the job. If you'll remember, there was a mass exodus. LSU had a backup wide receiver playing quarterback. It was completely non-competitive. It was really more detrimental than anything. This time around, I think they're going to have enough players to play a football game and it, roughly look like football. But as I mentioned, they're not going to have Nussmeier, Delane, or Whit Weeks, so they will be hurting a little bit. I don't really understand it. I guess I understand the idea of allowing the interim coach to finish the job here, but Lane being in the building and sharing an office for the time being, but not hands-on coaching, it's just weird, man. I don't know how it's going down, but for now, that's still their plan. That's what they're doing.
That's weird.
Love it. They're sharing an office. What time are you going to be in? Okay, well, I'll just be in a little bit later, and then whenever you're done, I'll just walk in.
Okay. Yeah. If you're busy, just make sure you put the sock on the door and all that
just
stuff.
let me know.
It really is. It is strange. And that's why I had to ask you that question, because out of all teams, I feel like LSU is one that, probably doesn't need to be playing in the game. But regardless, good to see it happen, even though the bowls might not be as important. But who is important, and that is you, Dawson. And we appreciate you hopping on with us as well to talk a little bit about Tulane, about LSU, and all of the stuff that's going on in Louisiana, because it's always intriguing at this point in the season. But let the people know where they can find you online and on socials, man.
Yeah, the Twitter is just my last name, then my first name. So it's at Iserlo Dawson. We've got the Lowdown ESPN Southwest Louisiana, 1 to 3 p.m., man, and excited. We're doing some stuff on the YouTube channel as well. So check us out. Nice. And John, I'll be hearing from you a little later on, man. We'll do a little home and home here today.
No doubt about it, man. Appreciate
Hold
it
on.
as always. But
before you go, how did you say your last name again?
Iserlo. Look, he says Easterlo every time. It's fine. I've heard it all the different ways. It is an I sound despite the E being the first letter. It's tough.
How many times have we had you on, and this is the first time that we've actually heard you say your own last name?
What's up with that?
Look, it's one of those things for me. I've heard my name said so many different ways. My sister had it botched at her graduation. Like, I just don't really even pay attention anymore when someone says it slightly wrong. It doesn't bother me. It's all good.
But and for me, it's a respect thing of like, look, man, you're nice enough to come on with us. We're gonna make sure.
I want to make sure I'm saying your name right.
So it's Iserlo, not Easterlo.
That is correct.
God bless it. It's been like a year and a half, and I just now learned this. Like, I was sitting there going, does he say it wrong when he's on your own show?
No, I don't say his last name.
Okay, I'm just, God bless it.
No,
okay.
It's all right.
I'm going to emphasize this next time.
Dawson,
sure,
the same thing has happened to me throughout my life.
Yeah,
a lot of people like
Abraham.
A lot of people like to say Abram, and it's not something.
Yeah,
I kind of just let it pass. But at the same time, I see where you're coming from. You should just let me know.
God bless it.
That's on me.
It's been over a year.
It's on me more than it's on you.
It's on both of us. That's what it is.
Now, whenever you say Dawson, we appreciate it. Make sure you say the name right.
All right.
Dawson Iserlo.
Dawson Iserlo has been our guest. Appreciate you, Dawson, and look forward to hopping on with you, man.
It's been over a year.
Absolutely, man. Anytime, guys.
Good stuff.
All right, thanks, bro.
Always. Not Easterlo.
No,
Iserlo.
when he said it, I went, whoa. Let's back this train up.
Yeah.
Like, let's hold on here. Again, you guys are going, I'm the one that has the Hunkapillar as the last name. Like, yes, it's going to get butchered all the time. It's the reason why it's even Joe Hunk now on the UAH staff directory.
Yours is easy, though. Yours is literally, you look at it and you see it, you're like, that's Hunkapillar.
Well, after the first time,
it's like
people say it, after they see it and then they hear the way it says, like, oh, it's just like it's spelled. Yes, but a lot of times, just like, again, we've been calling him Easterlo for over a year.
Well, I didn't want to spell it out, because I feel like if you hear Easterlo, you're more likely to find him on Twitter that way. So now you guys know.
Dang it.
Don't feel bad.
Dawson, we're going to get it right next time.
Don't feel bad. He's fine. He's fine. Don't worry.
By the way,
he's fine.
Major news when we come back.
Phone lines are open now. 256-576-4977. This is The Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The road to the national title starts now.
Strike up the band and light them up.
The Crimson Tide looks to get revenge on the Oklahoma Sooners in the first round of the college football playoffs. Friday, December 19th. First round coverage starts at 4 p.m. on your home for Alabama football.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Your customers deserve the best, and so do you. You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loader from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. And with our Workhorse Special promotion, that new 255 CTL is just $73,655. But it's only good through December 31st. Prices increase in January, so lock in your savings now and take advantage of year-end tax benefits to maximize your investment. Don't wait. The best time to buy that new Cat 255 is today. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Johnson & Hayes Physical Therapy was built on treating athletes, and today we treat so much more. Whether you're a high school competitor, weekend warrior, or recovering from surgery, Johnson & Hayes pairs you with a dedicated therapist for one-on-one consistent care. We offer specialized programs in sports rehab, neurological therapy, pelvic health, post-concussion care, and more. Founded by lifelong athletes, trusted by top physicians across Alabama, Johnson & Hayes delivers results. Visit johnsonandhayes.com and get back to what you love. The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
Talking ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
We appreciate Dawson Iserloh joining us on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and the Blitz. You know, there's certain places where they will not get your names wrong, especially when you're going to buy what we call a big boy toy. Those are not going to happen at all. And so those are reasons why you need to go there. But there's other reasons why you also need to be listening to 97.7 ESPN The Zone, because coming up on Tuesday of next week, we have got our listener appreciation dinner / party that we are having over at Field Day. That is going to be going on where you have an opportunity to donate some amazing toys for Toys for Tots. And we appreciate everybody that is going to be coming over there to do so, John.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's going to be a lot of fun. A field day, always a great time, a great experience. And, it's one of those things that, you only get once a year. We have a lot of fun little events, but you only get that once a year. And to do it, to come out and just feel good about yourself after giving a toy and then hanging out with the rest of the squad is just it's just a wonderful feeling.
It absolutely is.
But, of course, it is also a wonderful feeling knowing that you have some more football to play, and it's better whenever it's actually going to mean something, because I have a whole list of these bowl games, Joe. And
sweet heavens!
I will say this is the only reason I'm talking about it now is because we're at the end of the show.
You said it's going to mean something.
No, the playoffs, they mean something. These games, they don't mean as much. But we got a bunch of interesting names for the first time ever. All right. There is going to be an Xbox Bowl, and it's going to be Arkansas State versus Missouri State. I don't care at all about this game, but this is going to be the first time. I believe it's going to be in Frisco, Texas at the Star, where the Cowboys practice football games.
Yeah,
is that what it is?
The Star is where Dallas has their is where they do practice.
So
yes.
we can't even fill out Jerry's World right now. I guess this is a first time bowl game.
Dude, now bowl games need to be going to high school stadiums.
You're not
there's
wrong.
that few people that are actually going to these things.
But it is Arkansas State versus Missouri State. Yeah, it's not that good.
Yeah, so and obviously it also will not be that good because it's Xbox and it's not as good as PlayStation.
No.
So,
Xbox, but the Xbox good. There's a long list of games that I just don't really care about whatsoever.
Yeah, every one of them that is not a part of the college football playoff.
Well, sometimes I do want to see some matchups, though. I like the matchups. Tennessee versus Illinois in the Music City Bowl, not terrible. The Texas Bowl, Houston, LSU. No, that one's going to be bad. That one's going to be horrible. But then there's a few at the top, all right? Like Missouri versus Virginia, it's the Gator Bowl. It's on December 27th. I'm interested in this one, Joe. And I know you're still thinking, it's a bowl game, doesn't matter too much. But we're also going to get Duke versus Arizona State in the Sun Bowl. I mean, absolutely lit.
That's the bowl that Notre Dame would have played in if they would have actually been invited to play in that one.
I thought it was the Pop-Tart Bowl.
No, the Pop-Tart Bowl is what they got invited into. Also, some baseball news. Kyle Schwarber has re-signed with the Phillies. Edwin Diaz is now a Los Angeles Dodger. So they have got their closer that's not Shohei Ohtani.
Guess baseball news is better than bowl game news.
Oh, no, this is actually better than all of it. It actually is what I said we were going to talk about this segment, and that is the fact that if you think college football is changing, the University of Utah is nearing a landmark private equity deal that is expected to generate $500 million for the athletic department. It is a private business that is going to be separate from the athletic department.
Joe, your favorite team out west is finna get a real big bump.
Oh, you know what? They also used to be a G5. Oh, look at what they've done. They've actually invested and see what's happening.
Bye.
Love you.
Experience something extraordinary this season at Loring & Company Fine Jewelers. December 9th and 10th, Loring & Company Fine